If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Well, here we are again, getting together, talking about choices, talking about inspiration, talking about whatever the hell we want to talk about. So what do you guys want to talk about tonight? I want to talk about putting skin in your business. And what the hell does that mean? So the topic tonight is, are you willing to put skin in your business? You know, we talk about our business a great deal on Inspired Choices and on many of the shows here on A2Zen.fm. And sometimes we're trying to figure it all out looking at the business. But tonight we're going to look at the business owner. And we're going to look at the business creator. Because, you know, a lot of times the change actually has to start with us, right? And it actually has to change for all of us. So, before we get started in this show, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am Christine McIver, and I am a possibilities coach. A lot of people, well, what does that mean? I coach people personally, in their relationships, in their business, in their lives, in areas where they would like to have greater, where they're feeling stuck or frustrated, knowing that they want even more than they already have, even if they're extremely joyful. You don't have to have a problem to get a coach. Do you know that coaches first were, personal and business coaches first started to come out because entrepreneurs wanted to be even way more successful than they already were. So they weren't reaching for a coach because they had a problem. They were reaching for a coach because they wanted to get greater. So if you would like to create, have, and be greater in your life, would you be willing to have somebody poke you? Would you be willing to have somebody actually shine a light in an area where maybe you can't see, or an area where maybe it's just difficult to unpack something and you actually have a knowing that something could be way greater than it already is? So I am an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, a professionally trained coach. I'm a human resources professional. I've been doing human resources for greater than 20 years. Yes, I'm showing my age. I am also an energy healer. I do the body of work with the bars and body processes with Access Consciousness. I'm also a radio show host, producer, and the owner of A2Zen.fm. I also like to create websites. I like to teach social media. I like to laugh and have fun. I do all sorts of different things. I get bored really easily, and that's why creating lots keeps me really moving forward and having a lot of fun. So if you have something in your life that you would like to create greater, I'd love to hear from you. If I'm not the right match for you, I'll find a coach who is. I happen to know a lot of very brilliant coaches, and a lot of them tonight are actually joining me in the chat room. So if you've never joined us in the chat room backstage, you just come on over to the website, A2Zen.fm, and you click on the chat room bar at the top, and you'll come right in, and we have questions and comments, and they're usually a lot of fun, and we have a great deal of laughter. So 3 of the programs that I really want to tell you a little bit about that I'm doing, and then we're going to get right into the show, is tomorrow night I'm actually co-facilitating the beginning of a call called Changing the Conversation with Suicide. This is something that's been really up in my world for a long time, that I wanted to talk to people about it. I actually have had 4 family members have chosen to leave via suicide, and I have learned and been indoctrinated into the whole area since I was about 13 or 14 years old. And so it's very much been something that I've been looking at, and I'm in a very different place today than I was the very first time this came into my life. And I know that I have contributions that I can make in people's worlds. I know I create great contributions in people's worlds who are struggling with wanting to actually choose suicide, or people that are left behind when somebody has chosen suicide. So that's a program I would love to invite you to. It's a 1-hour call, 3 weeks in a row, with a very dear friend of mine, Janine Youngworth, who is brilliant and extremely aware. She's actually a medium, and we did a call on the radio a few weeks back, and it just really yelled at us like, oh my gosh, we got to do more of this. So if you know someone that's struggling, someone that has struggled, someone that is really trying to come to grips with a choice that someone's made, please direct them over to us. We would love to be a contribution to them. The second course that I wanted to bring to your attention that I'm doing is a business course called Beyond the BS Business Studies. And this is everything from A to Z and in between. The foundational work that we need to put in for our businesses, and the sexy new tools that are out there that are sometimes a little overwhelming. And everything in between, looking at what to price your products and services, what name to give your business, even how to create a logo that really fits for you, how to connect with people, how to grow your business, how to communicate, and really how to step into more and more of what you're desiring to have. So that's the Beyond the BS Business Studies. Both of these you can connect with me through my website, inspiredchoices.ca, or you can just send me an email, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, and I'll tell you more about it. And of course, the program, Be the Dominatrix of Your Life. This is a standard program of mine that I do with individuals, and it's really the whole body of work, and there's a book that's going to be coming out very shortly called Be the Dominatrix of Your Life. The whole body of work is really about stepping in and leaning into your life and having way more, no matter what is created in and around you in your life. So I would love to share that with you if that's something that pops for you. So tonight, are you willing to put skin in your business? Where have you concluded that your business should work for you? Do you limit your business by your conclusions of when, how much, how it should be showing up? Did you give it what it is asking for, or are you judging that enough is enough? Are you willing and ready to create your business even greater? So when I started to create this show, I hear a lot of people, myself included. I've been there, guys, when I'm like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. And, today happened to be one of those days, which is really funny, which a lot of the hosts will totally identify with. A lot of the times these shows will pop for us, titles will pop for us, and then all of a sudden, before we know it, the show's upon us, and we look just a couple days prior to starting this show, to actually doing this show, and we've been, quote unquote, living this show up, and living this show right out in front of ourselves, kind of been playing out the whole thing. And it's like, it's absolutely insane how that happens over and over again. So today happened to be one of those days for me, and which sometimes is a great contribution and sometimes incredibly frustrating. But it was a day where it was like, I just wanted to, literally I said to someone, I just want to flip my desk upside down and have everything smash. Has anybody else ever had that before? Oh my God. It is extremely funny now to look at that, because now it's changed a little bit, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But how, I want you guys to think back, whether it was yesterday or it was 20 years ago, when you started to think about creating a business, and what was going on in your world at the time. What were you thinking? What were you experiencing when you started to consider having your own business? And I would love the comments in the chat room, because it really starts to to pop when everyone is sharing what's going on. I can tell you, for me, it was like one of the reasons I wanted to do business. I've wanted to do business since I was a very, very, very little girl. My father was in his own business, and I watched him in his own business, and I thought it was fun and exciting. You know, it was kind of, to me, it was like I would bake with my mom and I would watch my dad do business. And to me, they were both very similar. You put different ingredients together and you come out with something amazing. And that's what business was for me. It was this creating energy. And I loved to create. I didn't realize how much I loved to create until I really got deeply into my business, probably about 3 or 4 years ago. But when I started to think about being in my own business, I thought, you know what, I can totally focus in on this one area that I love to do. And when I started my business, it was the whole focus of it was human resources. That's what I was going to do. I was going to do consulting in human resources because it seemed logical. I had been in the human resources field for 20 years, as I said, and it just seemed like a natural evolution. I knew how to do everything, so it was probably really easy. And when I actually stepped into starting to create that business, it was hard. The idea of actually going and knocking on somebody's door and saying, hey, do you want to hire me to do your human resources? That's a very unique company that's going to outsource a human resources person. And, of course, I was thinking of a company, a larger, like a mid-sized company that would need to hire me. But there's that tipping point between when they would outsource it and when they would need to actually have someone in-house, because human resources has grown so much, right? It has grown to encompass, health and safety, discipline, hiring, evaluations, different motivational programs. It is a huge, huge body of work now that a lot of organizations have to have several different people with specialties in. So that was very daunting to me. And I've done sales. One of the very first jobs I ever had was selling skincare and makeup in a company. So doing cold calling, being in people's home, talking to people that I've never met before and talking to them about, what I think would really work for them never bothered me. So talking to a new person that I've never connected with and sharing with them something I'm excited about, that doesn't, it's not daunting to me. But this really, really was. And as I kept looking at it, I'm like, this isn't really exciting for me. Now, I like the idea of being in business to assist. So I started to look at what part of human resources did I really, really enjoy. And the part that really started to pop for me big time, because I was doing a small consulting job when I first started out, and the part that really excited me, and this is going to maybe sound a little strange, was actually assisting two people to leave their current position and move on to a different company because they were not succeeding. And as I began to talk to them, and I was coaching them without realizing I was coaching them, because at this point I hadn't taken my coaching training program as yet, I was coaching them, and I was really getting to the core of what was going on for them on an emotional, self-fulfilling level. And they started to really acknowledge that they were not happy in their job, and it wasn't something that they ever wanted to do, and they just kind of tripped into it, or, kind of like, this is good enough, and took the job because of the money, right? And as they were crying, I was getting happy. And it wasn't because they were crying that I was getting happy. I was getting happy because I knew that we were really breaking something open. And that's what excited me. So the very first thing that I started to do to put skin in the game was, first of all, I acknowledged what wasn't working for me and what was working for me. What wasn't working for me, what didn't turn me on, and what was starting to really speak to me, deeply speak to me. And I said, okay, if this is the direction that I'm going to go, and I absolutely love it, I need to take some professional training in this area. Yeah, I could coach people, and I've always talked to people a lot, but I really wanted to dive deeply into it. So I really wanted to get the full body of work so that I could feel very confident with myself and have more resources and tools to pass on to people that I was coaching. So that was the first thing that I was willing to put skin into my game. It was like seriously not waiting for the money to show up so I could actually create that business, really investing in the business with the skills that were required to do what it was that I was desiring. So ask yourself, what is it that I could add to my business that if I was willing to invest in my business would create greater for me and my business? So I'd like you to ponder that question. We're going to go to break. And you know what? It doesn't matter whether you choose whatever pops up or not, but would you be willing to just jot a few ideas down? Whatever starts to pop for you. What could I choose and add to my business that if I would invest in it would give me even greater for me and my business? So we're going to take a quick break. I would love to hear any of your thoughts, ideas that started to pop up. Even if there's something really, really simple, it could actually begin to change a great deal for your business. And while we're on break, I want you to think about, have I ever actually asked my business what it requires? And when we get back from break, we're going to talk a little bit more about actually talking to your business and what a difference that can actually make for you and your business. So you are listening to Inspired Choices. Here tonight we are talking about, are you willing to put skin in the game of your business? We are going to be just a couple of minutes. Please come on back after the break and we'll talk business more. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
Do you know a child who is frustrated and disruptive in class? Who struggles to connect? Who's bright but still not making the grade? Have you ever wished that there were a kinder, gentler way to support children with difficulties in school or at home? Many children find access bars is benefiting them greatly. A study is being conducted to document findings in an effort to assist kids everywhere with these life-changing benefits. Will you donate and help to assist kids thrive? Visit www.accessyourbrilliance.com to support our study. What else is possible for kids now more than ever?
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Thanks for sticking around, everybody. So tonight we're talking about, are you willing to put skin in your business? You know, it doesn't matter where you are in your business, whether you're just considering starting out or you've been in business for a very, very long time. A business is like, a garden. You have to keep pulling the weeds. You have to keep, turning the soil. You have to keep nurturing it. You need to give it water and nourishment and sun and, even talking to it or maybe replanting it or putting it into a new space. A business is a living entity. And that living entity, the minute you start to put it into actualization, i.e., set up shop, put out a shingle, get a business card, that starts to actually be created with your ideas, your thoughts, and it actually starts to speak to you. Now, I know this is crazy, but just stay with me for a minute on this. Do you ever speak to plants? Do you ever go for a walk in the woods and speak to the trees and the birds? Do you ever talk to your car? Yeah, we're probably a little wacky if you've never heard this before, but do you know what? Everything has an energy. That's the one thing that science has confirmed, that we can all agree upon. Whether you're woohoo or you're very scientific, everything is made of energy. And energy has a some capacity of oh my gosh, what's the word? It's living. When there's an energy, there's something there that's living. And everything in the universe is connected. Whether you can see that or not, it is all connected. And your business has an energy. It's a breathing entity, not like you in your physical body, but it has its own body. And it really does come to life through you, and it then becomes its own work. What's really interesting is as you start to speak to your business and you start to ask it questions, it will actually give you awarenesses. It will give you ideas. And if you're willing to get a little cuckoo, you might be surprised at how your business can actually contribute to you. The reason today that I am actually doing radio and I have this radio station and all these brilliant people that are creating radio shows as well is because I chose to actually follow that crazy direction from Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness. And one day I went, okay, fine, because I wasn't creating a great deal in my business. I was actually killing it. So I was willing to put skin in the game. I was willing to try just about anything. And I actually started to speak to my business. And so it's a very simple thing, is you just ask it, okay, business, what would you like me to create today? And your business isn't going to suddenly start talking. You're not going to suddenly start hearing a voice necessarily, unless you're somebody who hears voices. But and I'm not talking about when you're drinking, okay? I'm talking about, some people are clairaudient, but I'm talking about you just wake up in the morning and you just perceive your business, or you sit down at your desk and you go, okay, business, what would you like to create? What would you like me to create today? And your business can start to give you awarenesses and nudges. It's really interesting how the universe and your business can commingle to get you to pay attention. So I got to tell this story. I know I've told it before, but it's really important when you think about putting skin in your game. This story, to me, speaks volumes. So I had done radio for, I would say, about a year and a half, 2 years prior to this moment when I started to talk to my business. And, there had been some hills and valleys in doing it. I had actually gone into business with someone. We had signed a year contract with a very expensive radio station. And about 2 months into that contract, this woman turned around and said, you know what, I don't want to be in business with you anymore. And I'm like, what? Like, we hadn't even really started to create anything from a financial perspective, but yet we were paying a lot out. And everything takes time to garner, your footprint, so you become an expert and so on and so forth. And at this point, there was only money going out. There was none coming in, and now she didn't want to do this anymore. So basically, for the next, 10 months, she would do a radio show one week, I would do a radio show the next week, and it was a hell of a lot of money, guys. I'm talking a hell of a lot of money that I was paying every single month to do this radio show. And I got to the end of that contract, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. That was, I enjoyed talking on the radio, but that was a big, big, big investment. And so I just kind of wiped my hands of it, and I went on and I started to delve into Access Consciousness and that body of work. And after coming back from this one particular training where Gary Douglas had said, hey, ask your business what it would like. So here I am, This was about 3.5 years ago. And so I woke up this one morning and I'm like, okay, right. All right. Okay, so business, what would you like me to create today? And the first thought that dropped into my head was radio show. And I went, really? Really? We've been there. We've done that. That cost us money. We didn't make any money. Like, oh my God, what? What the hell? And then I went, okay, stop. Wait, okay, stop. Just let that all go. Okay, no conclusions. No judgments. Follow it. You can always make another choice. Just follow the nudge. Okay, cool. So I contacted the owner of the station and I said, hey, I think I'm ready to come back and do another show. And she's like, okay, cool, that's great. And, I had done it before, so it was very easy for me to kind of set it up and get going and so on and so forth. And it was about 2 weeks after I started to do the radio show again that she said to me, hey, have you ever thought about producing? And I'm like, no. Again, didn't go to this big conclusion about it, right? Because remember, I was somebody that did human resources, and then I'm a life coach. And, that was the evolution that I went into life coaching first. And then, to the idea of producing radio, I'm like, a lot of people will go, well, that's not what I do, right? This is my work. This is my business over here. And when I stopped doing conclusion, which is a really big piece to putting skin in your game, if you would destroy and uncreate all the conclusions you have about what your business is and what your business isn't, your business can start to expand. And it may go in directions you never, ever thought it could possibly go, right? So, she said this to me. She said, hey, have you ever thought about producing radio? And I said, no. I said, I haven't. What's that all about? And she said, and so she started to tell me about it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll look to it. I'll entertain the idea. And so, with a friend of mine, I said, hey, do you want to do this radio producing thing? She was kind of, looking at expanding her business too, and she wasn't sure how to do it and all the rest of it. And so we were like, okay. So we just kind of started. It was kind of like, how you take on that extra little business on the side. And we just kind of like, okay, we'll do that, and then we'll do these other things as our business expands. And, I really know today, after now producing and now owning the station, it's 2.5 years I've been doing producing. I really know today that this was able to unfold easily because I didn't have conclusion and expectation in there around what it was going to give me and what it wasn't. And now I want to back up. When between starting my business and this point, which was 2008 to 2013, during that time, I was doing personal one-on-one coaching and a little bit of business coaching with entrepreneurs who are just starting their business, just one-man show businesses. And that was kind of struggling. And it felt like a lot of times I was like pushing up a hill to try to get the business to grow. And I know it was because I had this picture in my mind of what it was supposed to be. And I wasn't actually willing to really look at what else it could possibly be or what it maybe wanted to be. So right now, I'd like everybody to have the vision of their business in front of them, but I want you to take the frame of that picture in your mind, and I want you to break the frame, okay? Just pretend it's a wooden frame and reach out and just break the frame. Take the frame off of the business, okay? Now, I want you to see all this amazing space around this vision of your business. And I want you to see that as a playground that you get to dance and play and paint your business even greater. Are you willing to allow your business to grow and contribute to you? And everywhere you have decided, concluded, or judged is right or wrong about how your business should be or shouldn't be, would you now please destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So what I just said is called the clearing statement. It is a magical wand to change everything. You can go to theclearingstatement.com to learn a little bit more about that. But what we really want to do is we really want to be willing to collaborate with our business. And when you're willing to ask questions and you're willing to do whatever is required, that's you putting skin in the game. If you're not willing to keep looking at this every day as something that may change, you're already killing your business. You're already killing it. I know today I've got lots of things I want to do, and I also know that new things may want to come in and take over and take up the space. Because guess what I ask every day? What could I contribute to my business today that would create it greater than it ever has been before? And when you're willing to break the frame and open that up to the biggest possible spaces throughout the entire universe and receive to create greater, it can show up in another completely different way that you never had any idea about it. So we're going to go for a very quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about judgment, because judgment's a great thing when you have business. You always want to be judging your business, right? So you are listening to Inspired Choices here on A to Zen.fm, where we're talking about, are you willing to put skin in your business? Stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you, being you, are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Okay. Here we are again, peeps. So it's Christine with Inspired Choices, and tonight, are you willing to put skin in the game of your business? And what does that mean? I had a comment earlier, and I wanted to go back to it. One of the individuals in the chat room said that she would acknowledge that the idea of starting a business was so I didn't have to answer to anyone, which I find out is the opposite, which is so true. Because when you're in your own business, now you are answering to all of your possible clientele, all of your possible customers. You are now answering to everyone, their questions, their comments, maybe their complaints. You don't have one boss, you have the world now. So if that was why you went into your own business, you might just be a little surprised, which, is sometimes is not easy, and that's why having your own coach can help you move beyond the stuckness when that kind of stuff starts to happen. So before break, we were talking about actually speaking to your business and allowing your business to contribute and really expanding what it wants to be. How things show up in your business may surprise you. I know a lot of people that they started out, in one arena and their business took them in a completely different arena because they were willing to ask more questions. When you are willing to ask more questions and really follow the nudges and follow what pops for you, what's exciting for you, that excitement is actually what your business can speak to you through your excitement, what turns you on. And when you are asking those questions each day that we talked about in the last segment, your business can start to have things pop into your universe, so you will pay attention. And it may be in a song that you hear. It may be in an event you go to. It may be through a child talking about something. It might be through a commercial you see on TV. You don't know how it's going to show up. It rarely ever shows up the way we expect. But if we keep asking some questions and saying, hey, you know what would be fun for me today? What would be fun for my business? It can start to change. And some of the things that I love to do, I actually have to pinch myself that, oh my gosh, this is my life. This is my business. It's amazing to me that now that I'm doing things that I really love, that it's part of my business. So ask, what would be fun? And you might be really surprised how many fun things can start coming your way. So we have a comment in the chat room. Faith says, I see a lot of lack of commitment around me and saw it in me too. I can spot the difference now between being interested in having it and being committed to having it. I'm hearing that in your show tonight too. Skin equals commitment. Yeah, so are you committed to you? Are you committed to creating what's whispering in your ear, what's laying on your heart? Are you committed to creating what it is that is aching inside of you? I'll tell you, there has been so many things in my life and in my business that I have wanted, I had desired, and I had these, it felt like aches that were going on that if I didn't, I would be sad. And so I was willing to step out and do whatever was required. One of my most recent creations is a TV show. Now, guys, just like so many other people, I have judged the way I looked. I judged my body. I judged, my hair. I judged, how tall I was. I judged, my laughter. I've got a really big, boisterous laughter. I judged all of that. And I finally was getting to the point in my life. I was actually invited to be on a TV show a couple of times. The first time I was nervous as heck. And when I watched it the first time, that TV show, oh my God, there was so much judgment coming up and, projected at me and my body. And I was like, okay, this has got to stop. This is, and I really started to change that judgment about myself. And I asked myself, would I rather not choose TV and be okay with kind of passing that dream up? Or would I rather say to hell with it and choose it anyways? And I also asked myself the question, Christine, when you've chosen things, has the universe always had your back? When you've chosen something, has it ever really blown up badly? It didn't kill you. It didn't put you into the court system. It didn't cripple you. It didn't put you in jail. It didn't have you killed. So has anything ever really been shitty? An outcome that's shitty? Oh yeah, I've created things and they haven't, followed through to quote unquote what success would be like in my mind. But I asked myself, has anything ever really been created that's shitty? And, when I look at that and it's like, I've got to follow. I absolutely have to follow those nudges inside of me, because if I don't, it's like I'm dying inside. So I said yes. To hell with it. I said yes. Whatever. Okay, so what? I've got some extra pounds around my waist. So what? That what's around my waist doesn't define who I am. I'm of a whole body of thoughts and ideas and caring and kindness and silliness and laughter and joy, and I've got curves, yippity-doo-dah-day. And when I finally said, I can't not do it, I chose it. And now, you guys, it's like, oh my God. The TV show that was actually broadcast yesterday, so this is June of 2016, if you're listening sometime in the future, I did a monologue by myself for 15 minutes. And I swear to God, you guys, I know I can talk for a full hour on the radio show, but 15 minutes looking into a TV camera, thinking about it in preparation, I thought I was going to pass out. And I was like, just show up. I just keep saying to myself, show up. And I did. And you know what? I liked it. Oh my God. I did it. I broke through another level of uncomfortableness because I was willing to put skin into my joy. Are you willing to follow your joy and do what it is that is speaking to you? Are you willing to honestly look yourself in the mirror and say, this is what I want. This is what is screaming at me. What's it going to take? What's required right now for me to choose so I can have this, so I can be this? You see, the one thing that's on my heart is being a contribution in the world to inspire others to choose more for them. And then that means that I actually have to do that. And you know what, guys? I wanted to cancel tonight's radio show. Having a shitty day, as I was saying, really bad headache. It was really interesting. I was so close to contacting the producers and saying, you know what, I'm just going to pop in a replay. And then I looked at the title and I'm like, oh my God, I can't not do this show because I won't be putting the skin in my game. And I'm so grateful. That I did, because I'm having a hoot of a time. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm having a hoot. So would you be willing to have that conversation with yourself? Would you be willing to say, okay, no matter what it takes, I'm doing this. Even when I'm tired, even when everybody else is out partying, even when everybody else is like laying on the couch watching TV, I'm going to do whatever the hell it takes to create what I desire. You know what, guys? If you're listening to this radio show, if you're listening to any of the shows on A to Zen, I would challenge you that you're a seeker and that you're someone that came here to really make a huge difference in the world. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter whether you are knitting booties. You came here to make a difference in the world. But will you make the best damn booties anybody's ever made in the world? Would you put so much skin into creating the most gorgeous, sweet, soft, yummy, yummy booties that you know that somebody's toes are more joyful today because you chose to put the skin in the damn game? It doesn't matter what you do, but for God's sakes, show the fuck up. Yep, I said it. Show up completely, but do it for you. Do it because you had a dream one time that was laid on your heart about stepping into business. And even if your business doesn't resemble anything today like it did when that first nudge came, it doesn't matter. Keep showing up. Keep doing what's required. And stop buying the shoulds out there in this world. Stop buying what everybody else is saying, oh, this is what you should be doing. Oh, well, if you're in your own business, you can write your own hours. You can set your own time. You should be able to take all the time off in the world. You know what? Get over yourself. When you're in your own business, you're going to work more. When you're in your own business, you are going to invest more because you know what? It's your baby. It's just, if you're a mother, when that baby cries, it doesn't matter what time of the night, you're getting up, aren't you? And if you have a baby or a friend or a loved one that throws up and needs help, you're going to get up and help them, aren't you? You're going to do what's required to nurture and love and care for it. Well, your business is no different. So if you're willing to look at your business like the baby that you've created, that you're nurturing, that you're molding into being the presence you knew it could be, you're going to step up and you're going to do whatever the hell is required. Okay, rant over. We are going to go for our final break of the night. You are listening to Inspired Choices Radio, and tonight we are talking about, are you willing to put your skin in the game of your business? Stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator, to schedule a private session, or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Wow. What a fun show I'm having tonight. At least I'm having a good time, and I hope you are too. If you are listening live, I'm so grateful you're here. Each and every one of you, you're contributing. Questions are dropping into my head. Your energy is creating so much more, and it's so much fun to have people that we create with. You know, whether you're solo in your business, or you have employees, or you have a large team, there are people all around you that would love to contribute and talk to you, and just reach out. I am a business coach. I love working with people. It's one of the things that really turns me on, is seeing people get turned on in their business. If you're someone that desires a contribution, I would love to hear from you. It's Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Perhaps you're someone you would like to have a full business makeover. It's kind of like a body makeover, but it's for your business, and it's really teaching you how to connect and communicate with your business. It's much more expanded than this show is tonight. And so I would love to invite you to Beyond the BS business studies that I'm doing. Again, you can check that at inspiredchoices.ca. And perhaps you're someone that you would love to find out what it is to actually, you know, what your business wants to be. Maybe you haven't even started there. That's something that we can absolutely be doing. Or perhaps you're someone, you have an idea, a thought, a message, a body of work that you would like to put out there, something like I'm doing. Maybe you would like to have your own radio show. I would love to talk to you about the opportunity and what having your own radio show actually creates. And I'll tell you something. When I do my own shows, like I am right now, it inspires me. to show up even to create greater in my business. While I'm speaking to all of you, simultaneously, I'm speaking to myself too. And I know tomorrow is going to be an exciting day in my business because I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to show up. And so many other people, Danielle, you're so funny. So many other people have said the exact same thing, that they actually are showing up more because of the creation of having their own radio show. So Danielle Carter, a good friend of mine, she says, I want my own radio show. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're funny, Danielle. Danielle has actually been in radio for, 30 plus years. She worked with her mom in radio, and now she has her own radio here on the station, and we just love having her here. And we've also got Rhonda, and we have Keisha. They're both in the chat room, and they both have their own show, and it's exciting what we're creating here, and there's so much more available. So what if you were not judging your business for what it has been to this very second? You were not judging what it's given you, what it hasn't given you, how big it is, how big it isn't. If you weren't judging it, if you were actually seeing it as a dish that you've been creating, maybe you forgot to put the salt in. Maybe you forgot to put the baking soda in. Maybe it flopped. Maybe it was one of those things that, oh my God, I got to start all over again. If you were willing to start again and see your business as every day, it's a new baby. Every day you have to, quote unquote, change its diaper, clean up the shit. You have to wipe the slate clean. If you were to see your business as something that you nurture and love and talk to and ask questions, if you were willing to do that each and every day with your business, how much greater could your business be and a contribution to you, and how much more could you be a contribution to it? You know, when we are willing to actually ask the questions and do what's required, we can have more. Now, when we say, quote unquote, when I say do work, you know, it's the work that I do, I love doing. Oh yeah, I have days where I go, I just want to run away. You know, probably once or twice a week. But 99.9% of the time, I love what I do because I chose to do what I love. And when you are actually doing what you love to do, working in your business is exciting and it's nurturing to you. And, you know, actually it takes an investment of your energy. It takes an investment of your time. It takes an investment of your ideas. It takes an investment of communicating to grow your business. Would you be willing to put the skin in every day and ask the questions? Ask your business, who could contribute to my business today? Ask your business, who would it like to play with today? Ask your business what it would like you to create today. Ask your business where. Ask your business how. Your business is here to contribute to you. You've got to talk to your business. Ask your business questions. And would you be willing to put your hand up? And would you be willing to ask other people, hey, I'm struggling in this area. Could I hire you for half an hour? Could I hire you for 6 years? Whatever, anywhere in between or beyond. Be willing to put your hand up. The greatest people in the world, the biggest business owners in the world, the most prosperous people in the world, hire coaches. That's why they are where they are today. Okay? I have coaches. I have worked with people who are really very, very successful. I know the very first person that I was actually introduced to is having a coach was a boss that is an amazing business creator in the world. And they know you want to get greater, hire a coach. Put your hand up. It doesn't mean you have to hire them forever, but would you be willing to ask what's required? Thank you guys so much for sticking around tonight. Thank you for playing with me. I would love to speak with you. I'd love to hear your comments and your questions. Please email me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. I have no idea what we're going to be doing next week, but I can tell you we're going to have some fun and some laughter. No matter where you are and what you're doing, remember, guys, you can always make another choice. There's no wrong choice unless you're not choosing at all. Have a brilliant week, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.